the opportunity for them to really continue that stuff. All right, I believe that is it for me, so I'll hand it over to Ms. Cooper.
All right, so I'm Mrs. Cooper, I'm the other counselor here, and so we just have a few more electives that students can take. These are the ones that only meet every other day, and so these are the ones that you would put on line 5 to alternate with PE, or to possibly, if you needed to add, if they were going to do another one, to kind of split that line 6 in half. Oh, I told you I didn't mess it up. Okay, so the first one is a vocal music, this would be chorus. So it meets, again, like we said, every other day. This is the class, so this would be in their schedule. It also, or it does not take into consideration that if they wanted to do show choir or men's and women's chorus, those are all additional, but they do have to be in the chorus class to also take show choir or men's or women's chorus. So that, I know that that's one that this year I had a couple questions about. So they do have to be in the class in their schedule as well. Show choir and men's and women's chorus typically meet before school, so something else to consider with scheduling and all that. And then there are some evening performance requirements that do go into their grade. That would be an expectation. Okay, we also have orchestra. Orchestra is going to be very similar to what it was in 7th grade if your child is in orchestra. Again, it's an every other day elective, and also has those evening performance requirements that go into the grade. And I'm basically just going to repeat myself for band. Band is a little different, and we tried some new things out with band this year with having, they have the whole group lessons, and then they also get pulled for small group or individual lessons. This year we did it where we made it work as best as we could in the schedule so that the types of instruments were all pulled at the same time to do their lessons. So if your child is in band, do know that on their schedule they'll have their big lessons every other day, and then there is going to be a time when they get pulled at another time of the day to do a short individual or small group lesson. Again, there is some evening, some weekend commitments, requires practice obviously outside of the day, and just like all of these musical electives, it is a lifelong skill that they would learn to use, just like all of our other electives. Yes?
So next year we'll, like right now 7th grade band meets before school on Friday mornings. Will that be?
That is one of those questions that the directors and I will sit down and see how this experiment went.
Okay.
If they feel we're getting the best bang for our buck in regards to growth and performance. So Mr. Turner wanted to try this, so we'll meet here right after break and start looking at if it works or if it doesn't.
I don't think this microphone's working. We're just pretending. Oh wait, there too.
Why I had it when we play this.
iPhone. Do you have a question?
Well, when you said for the band, it'll be pulled out when? During the day?
Yeah, it is during the day. So,
Currently, right now, lessons are having upon instrument, and it's every other day, and then they do a large group for 7th grade before school. In years past, lessons they were pulled out of classes to do lessons, and then had a whole group every other day. And the directors wanted to try something different where the lessons were by instrument and they had more time with them, like in small group, and then do large group, a little bit more improvement than they had in the past. So this was our first year of trying it. I'll take emails and feedback if you got it in regards to how you think you're doing it. I know one of the things they were trying to do was stop pulling kids from classes, where having it built into their schedule was much easier than saying, okay, don't forget you got lessons this week, and then having to come. They don't come. Sometimes they don't. If their schedule doesn't allow, they're not coming. what we're talking about, and if their schedule doesn't allow, when they're getting pulled science, math, English, whatever. Fortunate enough, it was maybe sometimes you got pulled out of study hall, PE, or something else, but this year we're trying to avoid that kind of. Next year, we haven't made any decisions at this time.
And I know that's the case with orchestra too, like just this week I was working with a student and asked that, for her to come see me 7th hour, and she said, well, first I have my small group orchestra lesson. So then she had that the first 15, 20 minutes of the time. All right, and then these are the classes, these support classes, I did fix that. Right? These support classes if your student is in them right now for 7th grade, they're already written, they should already be written on the registration form. So these are classes that meet every other day, and so you would see them in that line 5, possibly also in line 6. So we have our English language learners, extended learning ELP, we have learning lab, and then math resource, reading resource, and special education. And all of these classes are met by assessment requirements and other criteria that the students are chosen by the teachers and other administration and other staff members making those decisions. So these aren't ones like electives that the kids can sign up for on their own. All right, and then the last thing I'm talking about is after the bell. So after the bell is offered for all 7th and 8th grades. So this is something that your child is or can be involved in right now. Basically, it's an after-school study hall. Not every student has a study hall during the day, and some students, we all know, have a hard time doing their homework at home. So we offer after the bell. We have teachers that are on staff that facilitate after the bell, and it is every day from the end of the school day, 2:35 until 4 o'clock. And on well, I'll get into that in a second. But they don't have to stay till 4 o'clock. They can, stay for however long they need to finish. We do let the students have access to their phones if they need to contact anybody about a ride home or whatnot. But it's just a good opportunity for students to take advantage of, knowing that there's teachers there that can help them out. Most of the teachers are here until about 3:15. So if they're here at school after the bell doing homework, have a question, they can usually try and catch their teacher before they leave. And like I said, aren't obligated to stay till 4. It's not something you have to sign up and come to every day. It can be, they have a little orientation that they do the first day that the student comes, and they sign a contract with the teacher that's there in charge. They do offer a snack to the kids at the beginning of after the bell. Did you have a question?
I just wanted to add a comment that we use after the bell, and it's a great resource, and so I hope it continues.
It will.
We highly, highly, highly encourage students to go to after the bell.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, and so that's why we used it, and so it's definitely a great resource.
Awesome, thanks. This will kind of segue into what Mrs. Getch was talking about, but any student who does sports and has practice after school, on Wednesdays, we dismiss at 1:50, and the teams don't start their practices until later. So all athletes who practice after school on Wednesdays will go to after the bell until 3:15, right? And then, so on Wednesdays, for those athletes that have practices after school, they will be after the bell. Any other questions? Yeah?
Do you have to register, sign up for that?
Nope, they just can show up the first day that they decide to go. The teachers that are there that night, they just kind of sit down with them. It can be one-on-one, or it can be towards the beginning of the year if there's a bigger group. And they just kind of go through their expectations and just like a little quick few-minute orientation.
Where do they meet?
This year, it used to be in the cafeteria. This year we changed it, and they met upstairs in the humanities room just because they're bigger to provide Wednesdays in the cafeteria since there's so many kids. Any other questions? Your turn.
Okay, this is going to be tricky. I talk with my hands, and I have props, so we're going to see how this goes with the
We got a
mic.
stand for you if you want it.
I think I'm good. I'll give it a shot. Okay, so extracurricular activities. This is a discussion time for 8th graders. We have lots of activities for your son or your daughter to be involved in. And research shows when students are connected to activities in school, they are more successful. So I'm just going to briefly go through these. Interscholastic athletics, those are sports programs. It's the first time that they'll compete in interscholastic sports in West Des Moines area and then around the metro area. We have intramurals. We offer play in the fall and mimes in the spring. And then we have lots of different clubs that some are established already. Hiker Stream is one that goes year from year. Yes Club is another one that is offered every year. But students also have that opportunity. They have 5 members. They can find a teacher advisor. They can start, I lost it. Can you guys hear me? They can start their own club. And then those clubs can decide what night they want to meet. They meet after school usually once a week. And then we have community service, eye care. So, sports sign up. There's some specific things that you have to follow with this, okay? Here are my prompts. Physical form, okay? And we'll be sending you a letter in April that'll talk all about what you need to do as far as forms are concerned. You need to have a physical form on file, an updated physical. So if you have a physical in, say, September, it'll be good through the following October. So they're usually good for 13 months. What we recommend, get your appointment early in the summer. Because what we found is kids who wait till like July and August, it's hard to get in. Football, volleyball, cross country start right when we start up school. And if they don't have the form in, they can't practice or participate. So that's one thing you just want to make a note of, and that letter that we send you certainly tells you that. On the physical form, this is where a lot of parents forget. It looks like the doctor should take care of all this. So it's a lot of information on the front, name, address. Then the doctors take care of it. They take care of the back. But on the bottom is where parents need to sign. It's an emergency release, and so that needs to be your signature. So make sure when you get that physical form, you take that bottom back page and you put your signature on that. The other thing we're going to ask you for is concussion form, insurance form, parent signature to participate, and the student signature code of conduct. They've read that and they're going to abide by that. It's all on one sheet. It seems like, oh my gosh, that's a lot I've got to do. It's all here. So there's spots for parents to sign, but there's also a couple spots where it's a parent and a student sign together. So you need to make sure that this is in along with this before they can even start to practice. So fall sports. We start school off in August and we'll start practice right away with football, volleyball, and cross country. There'll be some spring meetings where coaches will get an idea of who's going to be coming out for these sports, just some informational type meetings. But then during registration, we'll actually have sign-up sheets as well. And so then the coaches will be in contact, practices will be set, and they usually, I think football is starting August 21st, and so that'll be about when cross country and when volleyball will be starting as well. Our winter sports, so when we're done with our fall sports, we move right into girls basketball and wrestling, and then after they're done, we move into boys basketball. Boys basketball typically starts right after we come back from our winter break. Spring sports are girls track and boys track. We have a no-cut policy. Everyone participates in our athletic programs. What we're looking at is to learn participation and to learn skill building. And we want kids to take a chance on something. They may not look like a hurdler, they might not look like a wrestler, but they never know unless they try. And this is a really safe learning environment for them to participate, have friends, make friends, and have a great experience. Other ways to get involved in our building, we have student government. We have a lot of students, I'll get your question in a second. We have a lot of students who, each social studies class will have a member who will represent student council. So we end up with about 25 students who are on student council. Our eye care volunteers, eye care happens during the school day. It happens on Mondays and Thursdays during study hall. So if you have a study hall anytime during 2nd to 7th hour, you can sign up for eye care. You can do it both days, or you can do it one day. So today I just happened to check with some of the eye care kids that are coming back in the building. What did you guys do today? We walk dogs. So they work with the vet clinic. Some other things that they do, they help our booster pack. They put our food packs together for each week for students. They work at the different schools. They volunteer there. They work in human services. They go to a Manor Care and do some volunteer work there. And then they also work in the preschools. So it's a great experience. And it really starts on thinking about silver cord as we move forward. Because once you're 8th grader next year, first day of summer vacation, they can start earning those hours for silver cord. Put a plug in for you there, Mrs. Bonus. And then intramurals. We have a great intramural program. Our students volunteer or participate in wiffle ball, baseball, basketball. We're going to do some cross country next year. Anything that the kids decide they want to do, Mr. Swisher's, yeah, sort of not everything, but most things, he's up for it. They're going to do some Frisbee this spring. So he meets with intramurals twice a week after school. In the morning, he runs a sweat program 3 days a week. Sweat is from 6 to 7 every morning. Kids come in the gym, they play dodgeball, they play basketball, they play pickleball. So how many kids are there sort of determines what activity they're going to do. But for some kids, being active before school is a great way for them to focus and start their day. So we encourage kids to get involved in sweat. Question?
Is sweat gonna be on a more regular basis?